Hey guys, what's up? Okay, so I think we can definitely agree that Tamashii has been up in the ante in terms of the quantity of releases in a calendar year since the line grew its roots over the years. With that said, one thing I've been finding hard to keep track of is just remembering all the announced releases for the year, as well as the release dates, or a timeline of it all if you will. That's why I decided to cover that all right here. Now please note, to clarify any confusion, that I'll be sticking to the North American release dates, or the estimated release dates anyway. So kicking things off back in January, while we didn't have a release designated to the month, I'm just gonna throw the Dragon Ball Super Trunks in here, as he was released in December 2018, so close enough to January 2019, right? Anyway, I've still yet to pull the trigger on this one, but it's a great all-around figure from what I've heard and seen. And the nice thing about this guy is that for a decently popular character, he's still available at or pretty close to his announced retail price, with Big Bad Toy Store still having him in stock for about 65 USD. In addition, other places like Amazon still carry him as well, with prices falling into the 50s on occasion. Moving on, February, like other Februarys before it, brought with it Valentine's Day. You know, love, making babies and all that. So I guess Tamashii's thought that the ideal gesture was to put forth a Kid Krillin figure for the month, or something like that. Anyway, this is obviously a bigger hit with the Dragon Ball fans and those who already started collecting the likes of Kid Goku, Roshi, and Bulma. Again, I have a minimal interest in picking this one up, but the good news for those that do is he's still easily found for retail price or even lower than retail price, with Amazon currently listing him at $41.34 USD. Random 34 cents there in my opinion. So March, my birth month, brought with it the release of a more comical character, and that is Hercule. Surely a cult favorite amongst some fans, I'd say, and this is the first side character I've flirted with the idea of getting in quite some time. Now again, I still haven't pulled the trigger on this one either, but I think for the right price I'd definitely grab it. Again, no need to feel the pressure here because he's still very much available. However, he totes a higher price tag than the previous two figures, with BBTS asking around 75 USD and Amazon asking for 62 USD. And since we know that there's a few more heavyweight releases to come this year, I think $750 and then some is a bit much because, for one, I'm in Canada and it's a bit much for the would-be hero of the world. Now for the month we're currently in, April, we have, as I was alluding to, a little bit more of a heavyweight release in my opinion, which is the Great Saiyaman. Now initially, I was going to pass on this guy, but when they revealed that he'd be coming with Gohan's base and Super Saiyan 2 heads to use as an alternative, I quickly changed my mind. Now his pre-orders did sell out fairly quickly, however I believe he is back on BBTS with a price point of $63 US. So speaking of pre-orders selling out fairly quick, brings us to May's release, which is Super Buu, or Majin Buu the evil version, which doesn't sound as cool in my opinion. But for me personally, this release is one that I've long waited for ever since they showed us those prototypes of Bootangs and Buuhan all those years ago. I think this figure looks awesome and was very well executed, and if you missed the chance to pre-order him on Big Bad Toy Store, pre-orders are still available through places like Amazon. However, as you know, you gotta be careful with those guys because they show no hesitation in canceling on you. You can expect to fork over about 70 USD for the big pink guy this spring. Okay, so just like the movies, it seems the summer is the place to be for Figuarts releases as well, as we continue the heavyweight onslaught here with Full Power Broly as well as Gogeta Blue. Fortunately, these figures have been coming in waves to fill the high demand in pre-orders, and it makes sense as both are heavy hitters with regard to the fan base and popularity. This version of Broly is humongous even compared to the older versions and is expected to cost about 80 USD, with his opponent Gogeta Blue costing about 55 USD. Now, despite the fact that I have placed pre-orders for both, with the revelation of the quote-unquote Wrath Broly revealed to be coming with 3 heads, it's making me rethink how much money I'm actually pouring into the line this year. Okay, so July surprised me because as much as Dragon Ball favors its flagship character Goku, Vegeta will see his release about 2 months prior to Goku. This is a figure I immediately pre-ordered, and I'm glad I did because the pre-orders sold out on Big Bad Toy Store very quickly. Even though we have a fair amount of Goku and Vegeta figures, I really like the colors on this one, not to mention that it comes with the Super Saiyan God head and a 2.0 version for the blue head that, you know, some of us missed out on a long time ago. If you're lucky enough to find more open pre-orders, you can expect to pay about 60 USD to add into your collection. Well worth it in my opinion. Now August allows some recovery time, for me anyway, as its release is Android 21. Now again, I'm not trying to bash this character or its fans, but I just want to say I have no interest whatsoever in this character, and I feel like video game releases need to cease, or at least not take up a slot and maybe be bundled with the sale of the actual video game or something like that. But again, grateful for the little pause in spending within the line. If you're a fan of this character and you know you're definitely picking her up, you can expect to pay about 60 USD, but you'd better have a backup plan on where to acquire her because she is already sold out of BBTS. Alright, so summer winds down and the return of your favorite fall TV shows looms. We hit another high point in the Figuarts release season, especially because the line always seems to finish with a strong release in December. But the month of September brings us the release of Movie Goku as well as Imasu. Now, economically speaking, I believe many people have a greater likelihood to pick up both of these because they're cutting us some slack with Goku's price, just like the Saiyan Rays on Earth version, with this price point set at $37.99 USD. Zamasu, on the other hand, is priced at about 70 USD, around average for a 6-inch figure in this line, which still isn't too bad considering all the stuff he comes with. As for the availability though, both figures pre-orders are sold out on BBTS, so you may have to try your luck with other online retailers or even Amazon. But I have a strong feeling Goku would be widely available closer to the release or even after his release date anyways. You know, I've always loved October because I love Halloween, but now I get to love it even more because my favorite character in the whole franchise is making a reappearance again. I'm even more hyped for this release now, like I said, because he'll be coming with 3 different looks, as well as his armor fully intact, which we've never seen with a Broly figure ever before. Like I said earlier, I'm not too sure how I feel about spending money on both Brolys this year, but I'm not going to cancel my pre-order for Full Power Broly. Not at this time anyways. So I'll say straight up, I could be wrong here, but I've yet to come across a release for November. And if my inkling for December's release is right, I have a feeling November might see a release of UI Goku. And you know what? Fine, let's get it out of the way right now so we can expect less Goku and Vegeta figures released for 2020. If it's not UI Goku, I could maybe see another Dragon Ball release, or Videl, or if Tamashii is really looking to capitalize for the holiday season big time, maybe even Bardock. So based on my prediction for November, as well as a brief flex on Tamashii's part, I believe we could see Jiren for December. I mean, we've seen some pretty solid releases at this time of the year before, so I'm only assuming Tamashii would want to do the same thing here again. If they didn't tease Jiren, I'd say UI would fit here, and November would be one of my other predictions. But hey, only time will tell, right? Alright ladies and gents, that was my little dissection on the releases that have came out as well as ones yet to come this year. I for one can say that I used to go from collecting every single release to being a little bit more selective this year, and it's not that I think particular figures are bad or not worth picking up entirely, it's just that since I'm in Canada, all the shipping and duty fees really add up. For example, a $70 figure would probably cost me about $110 give or take some change. So for those of you wanting to see a collection update or more reviews with my take on it, please bear with me, they're coming. But for the meantime, what do you guys think of the release calendar for this year? What do you think about my predictions for the end of the year? Let me know down below, and you know what I always say, may the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows. Peace.